First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Braden Harrington here with Davey Portman for upNXT, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts, you found us.
You have, and we are live every Wednesday night, 10:15 Eastern Time, twitch.tv/upNXT podcast. Hello, Twitch Room.
Yeah, we're podcasters. We're also Twitchers. Means we twitch.
We twitch.
Yeah, we go live after NXT every Wednesday night. You already know why, because we're NXT friends. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. Doesn't matter when your NXT is.
We'll always be there. For you.
We'll always be
Absolutely.
there. And, we appreciate everyone checking out all our other shows because we also go live Twitch every Thursday, 1 p.m., talking all about AEW Dynamite on BD Elite. You can find that on this very feed as well. We've been doing a lot of free shows for our listeners.
Too many! We're spoiling you. Give some back.
We did Best Death Match Ever in preparation for the craziest death match ever in the history of professional wrestling at AEW Revolution. We did a show with Damian Abraham, and that was lit, as the kids would say. And we got a lot of great feedback on that one. And go check that out if you haven't. We just did a surprise drop of the worst best movie ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Since we posted that, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
my Twitter's been going crazy. People love this movie.
Everybody chill. Everybody needs to chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Batman and Robin.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. We've been doing all Batman reviews. We did all of them. And we got to what some is like WrestleMania to some, because we finally talked about Batman and Robin. Arnold Schwarzenegger with 27 ice puns. That's just 27 from Arnold.
I feel Dark Knight is going to be a popular one. And everyone, as soon as we announce, like, we're doing the Batman films, I'm sure people are like, oh, yeah. Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, the Joker, all that. But secretly in the back of everyone's mind, everyone was actually going, yeah, Batman and Robin, Arnie, Mr. Freeze, puns!
George Clooney.
Oh boy, Batnips!
Yeah, so go listen to us talk about Batnips, Batgirl, Bane, Uma Thurman is Poison Ivy, all that stuff.
Rubber lips
are immune to your charms. All the great Batman and Robin nostalgia. We're 90s kids. We've obviously mentioned that. And I remember we talk about the toys and going to see it in theaters. Like, we're all about the Batman here. So go check out all our Batman reviews. Again, free on this very feed. So all the free shows, including Deep Impact that you've been covering. Sorry, I almost called it Dynamite. Where you cover Impact, obviously.
Yeah, we'll probably talk a bit about the news coming out of that on tomorrow's BD Elite.
Yeah.
Because it will be related to AEW.
We did a AEW Revolution watch-along. Join us for all the pay-per-views and stuff, watch-alongs, again, on Twitch. And we decided to do a post-show for Revolution. We put up the podcast on the Patreon, but our reaction vid got quite a reaction this week, including yourself screaming at the not-so-explosive barbed wire deathmatch.
Like, we've all watched it back a few times now. And what gets me is the pause after it happening to the actual laughter, because it's like it took us all a second to really take in what we saw and just in our heads go, all that build to this. It definitely wasn't an immediate laugh. It was just like a whoa.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we talked about that. We gave our reviews on that. Maybe we'll talk more. But yeah, I'd say just out of the gate, we'll talk more about the Revolution fallout and reactions to that tomorrow. But I think it's just an iconic moment in wrestling.
Oh, it is. It's Shockmaster level, isn't it?
It's literally Shockmaster level, because it's going to be like known for, if AEW goes on and continues to be this great company for years and becomes like even a smidge closer to the WWE level that WWE's at, and ratings go up. That's what I want from AEW. It'll always be remembered. And if AEW were to close up shop in the next 3 years, it'll always be remembered.
If DVDs were still a thing, this would be the death of AEW, the picture, wouldn't it?
Right, yeah.
The front cover.
I just hope Eddie Kingston's okay.
I hope he's okay. I can't wait to watch it. Shout out Dickie Bird, our world champion patron, who joined us for the watch along. If you are a world champion, you're always invited to join us for these watch alongs.
We even had him on afterwards for
the post show. Yeah, and he told me that he went back and rewatched the entire stream because he said he was a little drunk and there were gaps in his evening.
Right, he didn't remember.
I said that sounds awful. I'd hate to watch myself back.
Yeah,
I hate listening to myself back.
Yeah.
But yeah, Richard was great on the show. Sino, obviously, Shot in the Dark, which dropped today. Go check it out. It's on this very feed. Sino joined us as well. It was maybe one of the most fun watch-alongs we've done.
I think so. Again, the whole... I was not a big fan of AEW Revolution. I didn't really like a lot of the stuff on that show. But the moment of the letdown was like just the reactions, and doing doing watch-alongs is really fun in this pandemic era. We can't hang out with you guys at shows and travel and make friends. We can do it online virtually, and that's what the Twitch. So shout out everyone who joined us for these watch-alongs, because the numbers keep going up and up, and it's so much fun. And yeah, it's we all hung out and watched this at a time. It was like all of us hanging out wherever you were, and we all watched it at once. And everyone in the chat, us in the video, it was so funny. It was so we love watching wrestling because it's like technical wrestling, and when we do Raw, Twitch, and gaming sometimes, like, what's Alexa Bliss gonna do? No. This was not to see a technical match.
It's watching us all get so excited because that music's building up. You've got that siren going off.
Yeah.
The clock's going down. Eddie's running out. We're all just going like, you see us literally on the edge of our seats.
Yeah.
And it's just Oh. Anyway, we've talked about this. I could keep talking about this moment.
I think we will tomorrow. I definitely want to go out of it. Listen to Shot in the Dark, John Cena. He's covered AEW Dark. He will be talking about AEW Dark Elevation. No,
Elevation.
Elevation. Right.
Yes.
Elevation. Because the big show's on. Yeah. So Shot in the Dark, John Cena covers everything in like 10 to 15 minutes of all this stuff, including NXT UK, which had a banging match with Miko Satomura and Kaylee Ray. I checked it out, and I thought it was awesome. I'm a little upset Miko lost, because I'm just like, I would have just instantly like done something. But it builds Kaylee Ray's stock, so... It
does, but it's
weird.
It's bad booking, I think. No matter how good the match is, Mako's had one match, I believe, in NXT UK so far.
Right.
And then is right in the main event. The biggest match you could possibly do in that with that roster.
Yeah.
And you've burnt it. You've done it already.
Yeah, it's weird.
You could have had a big build and then, have Mako go through the whole division and get to Kaylee Ray. And then if Kaylee Ray wins, that's awesome. It's giving even more stock to her. But... basically, you've brought in Mako, who's this woman who didn't win the Mae Young Classic, has beaten one jobber on NXT UK, and now loses to the champion. I just feel kind of you lose that luster of it.
I thought so.
I think when Volta came on Survivor Series, and everyone was like, what have you done? This is your protected monster. And I really think Satomura should be like the Volta of the women's division.
Yeah, definitely. I was a little shocked at the ending. I went, really? But I really enjoyed the match, and I'd say check it out. And again, Sino covers all the other shows, New Japan Strong, all that stuff on Shot in the Dark. It's free on this feed. All the shows here on this feed. I know that we're doing a show for the Patreon this month, or not this month, but this week, actually. It's coming out on Friday, I believe. And it is a Up Yours, where it's featuring... New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Super J Cup 1994, which I'm super excited about. World Champ patron Jake from the Windy City has chosen what some would say the greatest single night of wrestling.
Single night tournament.
Single night tournament of wrestling in a night. So it's pretty popular.
Yeah, finished watching it today. Really good show. You can definitely all the matches are out there. New Japan World. You can find all the matches really easily. Should be a good show.
This one match I watched, I've seen it before, but one match I watched with Black Tiger versus this guy called Wild Pegasus Kid. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So go check that out. Super Jacob is going to be out. We're going to be reviewing that and talking about that on Friday on the Patreon as well. And we're going from Batman, but on the Patreon we're doing another Up Yours because it's totally different from wrestling. But it mixes in with comic books, and it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Kind of cool timing with all the WandaVision just wrapping up, Falcon and Winter Soldier just about to start, and the whole idea of the multiverse seems to be going to be a prominent part of the MCU in the current phase moving forward, obviously with the Doctor Strange film. And Charbel, the chosen one, has chosen... Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which covers that whole multiverse idea. Saw this one in the theaters, loved it, can't wait to talk about it again.
Yeah, $5 a month, North American tier gets you access to all the podcasts we put out, including those two shows and all these other shows. But if you're crazy, if you're a big fan of the BDE, you can be a world champ, and you can, like we mentioned, come on for the watch-alongs or pick things and join us for reviews, such as Jake and Charbel are doing with us this week. So lots of different shows, so many different shows, but check it out, patreon.com/upnext. And I'm going to promo it now because a week from tonight is St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
And we need to celebrate my Irish heritage.
We're also celebrating a year since first lockdown.
Ah. Well, I thought we would get into more of a St. Patrick's Day. I'm feeling lucky. Okay. So I thought, why don't we do a review? And we're going to release it. We're going to record it a few days before St. Patrick's Day. So maybe I'm going to release it. But by the time you hear Up next week, it'll be out on the Patreon. But we're going to be joined by John Cena, again, from Shot in the Dark, and from Zombie Pod, because he's the horror expert. We're going to be doing a St. Patrick's Day celebration by reviewing Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah.
Leprechaun, the movie, the horror movie about a leprechaun with Jennifer Aniston.
Can't wait. Never seen it.
Yeah, we should just watch all of them and watch Leprechaun in the Hood.
Get to Hornswoggle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
True. It's all in linear because Hornswoggle shows up. So that's also a show that's coming out on the Patreon as well. So that should be fun, talking about some retro cheesy horror movie there. So many shows.
Yeah, and once again, sign up to the Twitch, twitch.tv/upNXT podcast. Every Friday at 6:30, John Cena and Mike Hogan take you to the movies. They've been talking all about WandaVision. They're talking about all the films that are being hyped up for awards season. So if you're free on your Friday night, go check out the Twitch stream.
Yeah.
We tend to stay on and watch SmackDown after, and sometimes pitch some watch-alongs, or we played Jackbox last week. It's nice hanging out on a Friday night. There's not much else to do.
No, I know. Here in Canada, it seems like Mr. Justin Trudeau is always telling us, like, yeah, we're getting these new vaccines. And then I see everyone in the States like, I'm vaccinated. Yeah. I'm like, God, man, like, I want to go out. I want to do stuff. So all we can do is hang around and do all these Twitch streams. And again, since we were podcasting before this, we're going to podcast even more. So that's why we have so many shows coming out. So all the stuff, look up all our shows again on the free feed, all the stuff, whatever podcast app you're using, Apple Podcast users, give us a little, nice message on the app. Write a nice review about us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need the Apple Podcast people
We need to shed that creepy vibe we've got.
Someone said I was creepy because I said Shotzi Blackheart was hot. Am I creepy? No. I'm a realist. So go check that out as well. Do that for us. But also Twitter, Instagram, at upNXT Podcast for all the shows that we do. And we do so much.
We do.
But we can get into some real wrestling news. Because the biggest news of wrestling is not an explosion gone wrong. The biggest news in wrestling is Randy Orton versus Soulja Boy.
Where I am,
yeah.
This looks like Soulja Boy grasping at attention.
Yeah, okay.
Because
I'm glad you noticed that.
Okay, because normally we're in the wrestling world and hip-hop is way, way bigger than wrestling. I'm aware of that. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not particularly a hip-hop fan. And normally I'm used to watching WWE and WWE going, hi, look at me. We're relevant as well.
Yeah.
This feels completely the other way around. Has Soulja Boy done anything since he cranked it, Superman that hoe? Has he done anything since then?
Oh, I can't believe you did that. I love that. Someone clip that. Look, I know Soulja Boy also has some shit going on in his life. I am not a Soulja Boy. I can't say I'm a Soulja Boy fan. The best thing about Soulja Boy was the crank that realistic. He hasn't really done anything, but he's gone in a Twitter spat with Randy Orton, and he went on his Twitch and was like just going off. He says, Randy Orton, I don't even know who you are. I liked wrestling when it was good, like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Batista. I'm like, bro,
that's Orton's era.
How did you not watch Randy Orton?
Did you just watch SmackDown or something?
I guess he didn't see Randy on Raw there. He was more a You think SmackDown? Soulja Boy was a SmackDown 6 kind of guy. I think maybe he was into the wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Just interesting. I hope that's not a thing. I want this to not be. I like my hip hop and
just
wrestling.
Just do the whole of WrestleMania. You'll have, it can't be Lacey, but you'll have someone against Cardi B. You've got Bad Bunny against Miz. You've got Soulja Boy versus Randy. Who else could you have? MGK is always getting involved.
Yeah, I know. I mentioned on the Revolution show that the West Side Guns got the Buffalo Kids, and he's more of an AEW kind of guy. Okay. He's got a song called The Butcher and the Blade,
right?
And then he's got a song called The Lucha Bros. So he's more of an AEW kind of guy. He's someone I would show up there. But
Snoop Dogg just does whatever he wants.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I like my hip hop. I like my wrestling. But hip-hop these days is a lot different. And Soulja Boy is not necessarily one of those old school guys. He's someone who definitely seems like he's going for attention a lot of the time. Right. And he's not that relevant anymore. So I'm not saying I really want Randy Orton versus Soulja Boy.
What about Randy Orton versus Piers Morgan? Because he needs a new job now.
Piers versus...
Who would be good against Piers?
Well, let's be a promo off. Be like Jericho. Jericho will get him.
Yeah?
Yeah. Talk about Meghan Markle.
That would be quite an interesting debate because I'm sure have very both have very different views on very different things.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And they're both wrong.
It'd be a car crash. Piers is a weird one because I actually agree with him on a lot of things, but then when I don't agree with him, I strongly disagree and think he's a prick. But he's had good opinions on some things, like, you know, gun control, the NHS, things like that in the past.
Right.
But I think he's way off.
I know this is a wrestling podcast, but you are British, so what's going on?
I did watch it.
Yeah, okay, all right. What's going on with the... I like the memes. The memes are the greatest.
Oh, I completely support them.
Yeah.
I completely get it. Even before this interview, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. You were a kid and you saw what happened to your mum due to this lifestyle, due to the media.
That's how I see it.
And you're seeing it happen to the woman you love. Like, yeah, get out of there. And it seems from the way they spoke, like,
get out!
Get out! But what was interesting to me, it was really pulling back the curtain to, like, Buckingham Palace.
Right.
And it seemed, from the way they were speaking, they weren't really blaming the Queen. The Queen's just, like, the figurehead. Like, yeah. But it seemed to be just the actual institution, the way it's run and all that. I found it fascinating.
Yeah, who's the prince or whatever, if he's a prince, that did the interview where he talks about sweat?
Andrew.
Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
People got more worked up that Meghan Markle's revealing too much about the monarchy and stuff than that guy who was instantly revealing to the world that he was a guilty man and what he had been accused of. So that's just me as a Canadian. As a Canadian, Princess Diana was such a huge worldwide like person, and then like her story being shown, like you couldn't help like be like rooting for her essentially. And now it feels like it's translated down to these two, and I'm just it's not something I'm usually giving two shits about, but I'm like, no,
I find it I'm not overly interested in the royal family or celebrity culture, but I think it's just a fascinating story, really, and which is still continuing.
Yeah, it's strange. It's like there's so many things you could say, but like the family, that the racism thing is so stupid, just ridiculous. Whereas there's so much about it. Does that mean here in Canada that maybe we don't have the Queen's face on our dollar bill anymore? On our is it $5?
I mean, no, because she's still like the ruler, right?
I thought I would somehow get Bret Hart on there instead, but yeah, I guess I was wrong. I know we were talking about hip hop briefly as well, but Eminem, the world tried to cancel this week.
Right.
I don't know if you saw that, but like young kids realized they looked up Eminem lyrics and were like, oh, he needs to be canceled. So they tried canceling him.
What I found funny is they did the laziest search to cancel. They did Love the Way You Lie, isn't it?
Okay.
I'm going to tie her to the bed and set the house on fire. That line.
That's the one?
That's the line. And
what?
I'm like, have you not heard Kim?
Yeah, wait, Kim is the worst.
Kim is the worst one.
Kim's definitely
really bad.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. And the whole music video is like kind of based around that line as well, if I remember right.
All I know is he put out a song and it sucked so bad. So I was like, Em, just disappear, bro. Like, just stop. Em used to be the guy, and he has not been for a long time. But I just found it weird that of all people, they're like, we're gonna cancel this white guy, Eminem, because he's doing like there's this. I'm just like, what? Like, I don't understand. The lyrics are hip hop, and they're using them like lyrics against him.
It's really hard when it comes to art, right? Because if this is something he says in an interview when asked about his relationship with his wife or girlfriend or whatever, I can't remember his status, and he went, well, if she ever leaves me, I'm going to tie her to the bed and set the house on fire. Yeah, that's fucked. But it's no different that I see it than writing lines in a film, you know, like lines that you wouldn't say, but it's needed for the story. It doesn't mean the actor is a bad person or the writer's a bad person, but they're showing you the reality of the world, and some of it's harsh. I find it, it's same when it comes to stand-up comedy and things like that. It's a very, very fine line.
Yeah, look, I'm not a big, like I mentioned, Eminem hasn't made music I've been into for a very, very long time. But back in the day, Eminem Show, the first two LPs or whatever, they're fantastic bodies of work. And yeah, it's an art form. It's like, that's like in wrestling, like Triple H and the Stephanie McMahon, that wasn't real. Like it was made up. And that's the same thing with like lyrics.
We shouldn't cancel Randy Orton because he set a man on fire.
Yeah.
Murdered a man live on TV.
Exactly. Like It's weird.
It's difficult. Yeah.
Like the Pepe Le Pew thing, I'm like, I could see you.
I haven't really looked too much into that one.
I could see it. I could see why that's probably a good idea to just maybe don't go forward with that character. But I know a lot of people are like, well, it's like, there's the cancel culture is this whole thing, but like there needs to be some sort of.
There's a difference. There's just cancelling stuff willy-nilly, and then there's accountability and making people pay for wrong shit they've done. I don't think writing a lyric in your song about a fucked up relationship, because that's what that whole song's about from both sides, the girl and the guy. I don't think that makes you an awful person who I'm gonna go, I don't want anything to do with you anymore.
Right. I just know, I watched, there's a new Biggie doc on Netflix, and I thought it was okay. P. Diddy's on it and stuff, but there's a song with Biggie and M that I'm a big fan of, Dead Wrong. And like, you could cancel him from those lyrics right away, but they're lyrics. They're not, it's fake. It's not real. Like that's, I always compare hip hop to wrestling. It's very similar. They're always playing characters. They're saying weird, outlandish shit, and they're trying to get over. They're trying to be the champ. That's what it is. And it's all about money. It's like, that's why Ric Flair is the drip. That's why. So that's what's been going on. There's so much other shit.
So hip hop, check. The monarchy, check. Yeah. Cancel culture.
This is why you come to this podcast.
Yeah.
For all that stuff. No, you don't come here for NXT because there's nothing going on.
Oh yeah, wait. There's NXT tonight.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on.
The landscape is going to change.
Forever.
Oh
yeah.
On NXT. Let's get into some NXT. Thanks for letting us rant. Let's go to NXT from March 10th, 2021. And we go to the landscape changing. Mm-hmm. William Regal, he's in the middle of the ring. And he says, I got a story to tell, basically. He points to the Tron and a video plays of the history of NXT. 7 years ago, a revolution. Shows people like the Four Horsewomen, Nakamura, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, all the people here. And from London to LA, Toronto to New York, War Games to In Your House, we take over. And NXT always delivers. So it's a takeover so big that it needs 2 nights. That's right. Takeover, stand and deliver. Night 1 will be on NXT USA, 8 p.m. in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So then the second night on a Thursday. So watch NXT on a Wednesday night. Then the next night is a takeover.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is what had been rumored all week. I think it's great. I think it makes the kind of whole WrestleMania week feel special. I think the way everything's falling with WrestleMania being 2 nights this year, SmackDown obviously being on the Friday, with the go-home show being the night before anyway, you might as well make it a 2-night thing. You might as well make that go-home show an event itself and even more special. I love this video as well, as Fire Frank put in the Twitch chat. We got a Kona sighting.
Because he's one of the Revolution.
He was in the crowd cheering. But
he's part of the Revolution.
It counts.
To me. Yeah, it counts. Kona, so it was a Kona sighting.
Yeah.
Whoa, Kona sighting here on NXT. I liked this video that they showed, and then they announced, yes, first night, Wednesday, April 7th, live on USA, and then night 2, the 8th, will be exclusively on Peacock.
Yeah. I assume that just means for the US. I assume that means we'll just get it on the network like normal.
We don't get it.
But I did find it weird that they didn't say exclusively on Peacock in the US and the WWE network the rest of the world. But I get that they're trying to... this migration thing, like getting everyone to sign up again, is going to be difficult. So I assume they're just trying to hit you over the head with Peacock if you're in the US. But it does leave us in Canada scratching our heads a bit.
High and dry.
We've only just got the show in Canada.
Yeah, we started watching in Canadian ways now.
Yeah.
Like actual Canadian commercial.
Picture in picture.
I do like seeing the Wayne's World Uber Eats commercials, but yeah, and hockey commercials, because that's what we get in Canada. But so Peacock is going to be the second night. NXT Stand and Deliver. Cool name, I guess. I keep thinking Signed, sealed, delivered. So it's
Stand and deliver.
It's NXT Takeover, stand and deliver. So 2 nights, which we kind of alluded. I think Finn Balor kind of teased it, letting the cat out the bag, I guess, when they were coming up with this, because we mentioned it a few weeks ago.
He wanted to do a title defense on Takeover and then one at Mania, I believe. But kind of gave the idea of a 2-night thing.
Well, I think...
And the way the storytelling's going after tonight,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get... we'll go into that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that definitely. But yeah, that's the big news here. So there's a lot of shows going on that week. Realistically, that's WrestleMania week. WrestleMania has 2 nights. TakeOver has 2 nights. There's a Hall of Fame. There's a Raw. There's a SmackDown. There's a post-wrestling podcast day.
Oh, yeah.
Some shows I just mentioned are bigger than the other and way more important. But yeah, there's so many shows to do that.
A whole week. It's kind of thrown a spanner in the works for our WrestleMania game. Details still to come.
We just don't need to do it. We don't need to do it. I'll just keep the title. It's fine.
Chris. Sorry.
You won the Rumble? Too bad. Mania's canceled.
You have to create your own title now, Chris.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. We can wait till SummerSlam. I can keep that title nice and shiny. Yes, that means the BDE Games show that we had scheduled. We kind of need to find a spot for it.
Yeah, it was meant to be that Thursday night.
Yeah, it was. And then NXT saw how well our Rumble game did on Twitch. Yeah. The numbers were in, and they were like, fuck, we need to go on Thursdays.
It was unprecedented. The numbers.
It was. It was almost like NXT ratings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have to figure out when we do our game. So let us know, guys, because we want to be able to do it where everyone can join in, because we have planned WrestleMania this Saturday. I think we're doing a upNXT birthday party tailgate for WrestleMania, I believe. So looking forward to that. We have that planned, all the stuff, but at upNXT Podcast for all the details. Let us know if you're interested in watching, being a spectator for this upNXT Games WrestleMania. We're trying to figure out where we can slot it, and
might be after Mania.
We might have to book it just a week after.
Yeah,
realistically. So hopefully we can get away with that. So we will stand and deliver.
We will.
But NXT will do that as well. So 2 nights, 1 message. We stand and deliver. And it cuts back to William Regal. He's in the middle of the ring, and he says, can't wait for this 2-night takeover. But then, the camera turns, and all the women of NXT are on the, rampway. Everyone's lined up.
Literally all of them. So all the new Performance Center signees as well. And there's a lot of women.
Yeah, there is. This is a huge roster. And William Regal says that you all have been special, and you prove it every night. And he invites the Dusty Cup winners, Raquel and Dakota, the first ever women's Dusty Classic winners. He says, NXT, you guys proved that you are the best here, referring to these two, and says that the NXT team decided to make a decision before WWE allowed them to. Kayfabe was. He says that you guys were the winners. So tonight going forward, you will be the new NXT Women's Champions, as he reveals, yes, the NXT Women Tag Team Championships. He hands them to them. Dakota and Raquel are gifted the titles here. They celebrate. All the ladies in the ramp chant, "You deserve it." They clap. No one's jealous. They just clap and smile. And well, first of all, so that's the second big announcement here.
Yeah, again, I think we all kind of assumed this would be the case. I've actually got no problem with them just being given the title, because they did earn it. They won a whole tournament, essentially being better than all the other women in NXT. And they got screwed out of the women's tag titles last week. So I didn't really have a problem with them just being handed it here. I think the visual of having all the women on the ramp kind of was good for me, because it made me realise, okay, you do have a deep enough roster. I know Impact have recently added the Knockouts tag titles, and the problem is, I like their women's division, but it's not huge. And to have a tag division, you need, at least 6 women, really, to make it some kind of interest. So you've got all the different combinations, and then it takes people away from your main event scene. But you look at all the women here, you can easily have a tag division and a women's singles division going at the same time. And I also hope some of these Performance Center women, maybe they try and have them like be a tag team before we ever see them on TV. So they come in as this new tag team, like an Everrise, for example, but for the women.
Yeah, no, it made sense. It seems like maybe they had thought of it too late for the Dusty thing. Like maybe they should have just done it then and there.
Yeah, I wonder if there was a bit of a change in mindset. Maybe they were going to win the tag titles last week.
Yeah.
And then decided, actually, we've got other plans for Nia and Shayna, and we need to keep those titles on them. So then they were like, well, what the fuck? Because otherwise it would have made sense, like we've seen with the men's before. You win the Dusty Classic and you win the title.
Yeah, that makes more sense. It seems like they should have thought of it when the Dusty Cup happened. But
they probably had it all planned, and then Vinnie Mac was like,
that's what he means.
Actually,
NXT decided to make a decision, is what he said.
This team of Lana and Naomi, wow! Well, we can't have Shayna and Nia lose the titles because got to give Lana and Naomi a chance.
Bless Lana coming out during the rave music.
Yeah,
it's great.
Dancing.
It's great. It's the best Lana's done since ever. So as Raquel and Dakota celebrate here, the women on the ramp are clapping, and then Dakota's like, "Yeah, hey, you see us? We beat you all of you. We beat you. Yeah, that's right. And then out comes Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
Raquel also says, we're going to carry these for a very, very long time.
Oh, she jinxes it.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So here comes Ember and Shotzi, and they say, hey, nice titles. Those look great, but we want a shot. Give us a shot. You want to be fighting champions? Let's go. So William Regal goes, well, you're making my job easy for me tonight. That match is happening tonight. Tag titles on the line. So Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart challenging Raquel and Dakota.
A great opening, I thought, giving the two big announcements right off the bat, and then just stacking this card tonight. 3 title matches.
Yeah, realistically, 3 title matches here tonight. We go to the first of them. Well, first of all, I did like William Regal's announcement. I kind of know, obviously, the internet and stuff kind of hinted at both of these surprises. Yeah. That's the thing of being a wrestling fan anymore. You can't really, it's hard to be surprised because everything kind of leaks out and stuff. Not that you try to dig it out, but people just share all the stuff. But I'm happy that we're seeing a 2-night takeover, and I'm happy to see the women's tag team titles here.
Yeah, it's the best women's division out there, so
yeah,
why not? Like, you've got men's tag titles, why not have women's if you're not going to have the main roster?
The shot,
give it to us.
Yeah, the shot of all of them on the ramp, you're like, oh, it's so deep, it's so talented. There's so many talented women there. I can't wait.
It seems like they're doing a big focus on Zoe Starks. Is it Starks or Stark? Stark. She was right at the front of this line of women, where most of the newer kind of PC people were towards the back, and you had your familiar faces, your Candice, your EOs, your like Indy and all that. But Zoe Stark was right at the front, so I think they've got big plans for her, and obviously we do see a video package later.
Actually, it's either Raquel or Dakota who goes, we beat you all, and Stark goes, well, actually, you didn't beat me. Like, she says that, and she says, well, we would have beat you anyways. So we do go to a women's match next, which is the title on the line. The champion, Io Shirai, defending against Toni Storm. And, well, a big part of this is when Io Shirai comes down to the ring, making her entrance. Raquel and Dakota are leaving, and there's Raquel who just stops and stares at Io Shirai and the women's championship. So, a little...
We should say as well, the women's tag titles are identical to the men's, but just with the white strap.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It makes me wonder if they're going to change the strap of the women's title as well, maybe.
Yeah, they could
to have it uniform throughout the whole company.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
With the white. So, Io Shirai versus Toni Storm, women's championship on the line. Both of them looking like a big fight feel here. Intros and everything in the ring. Great gear from both of them. And then we get it going. And Io Shirai instantly, after a bunch of drop downs, gets the like double knees into the corner and then does like the Matrix special to block one of Toni's clotheslines. We have a commercial break where Toni now is in control, but when we come back, there's Io Shirai who fights back the flying springboard dropkick. No one does it like Io. There's then a superplex from Toni. Io goes for the Matrix again, but it's one too many times as Toni scouts it and like elbow drops her here. They're fighting on the on the apron, and Tony goes for the Tiger Driver, the Storm Zero, but it's blocked into a backdrop. I thought it was going to be like Cody Rhodes and Penta on the apron in the ladder match at Revolution.
Oof.
She's going for can destroy her off
on the ramp.
Yeah, on the ladder. So Io sends Tony to the outside off this bump on the apron and then hits the Orihara moonsault. Looks beautiful. They get in the ring, but Tony counters with a seated senton with a powerbomb here for a near fall. Io and Tony both to their feet exchanging strikes, and Io just goes into the next level with not one Shote palm strike, but like multiple Kyle O'Reilly style with just the Shote after Shote, and then locks in the crossface, and Tony is like squirming trying to get out of it. Eventually she does, but ends up in the turnbuckle and is hit with the Bullet Train Meteora knees. Sets her up for the moonsault, but she gets out of the way. Hits the Storm Zero on Io Shirai, but Io kicks out at a 2.9. Tony doesn't know what to do, so she goes up top for her flying headbutt. But in midair, Io rolls out of the way as Tony's head bounces. Io locks in the crossface again, and she is like wrenching this crossface. And Tony is in the middle of the ring, nowhere to go, and taps out. Io Shirai retains the women's title.
This was the right move. I really think Io should have won this. I felt this Tony feud was just a way of Io to kind of erase that blemish in her like history in WWE, because her only real big loss was against Tony. I kind of said last week that this really needs to deliver for me, for Tony to prove herself. It didn't quite do that. It wasn't a bad match. It was a fine match, but really didn't reach that extra gear for me. I like that Shirai is starting to introduce a submission as well.
Like she's done it, but she never won by it.
Yeah, I always like that when you start seeing like wrestlers add different finishes to their move, whether it be like a striking move or a submission or whatever. I think especially, obviously spoiling going ahead a bit, we're going to go to the Raquel match. I think you need as many kind of weapons to go up against someone like Raquel because she's so much bigger than Io. So I think that was smart, introducing this move as a killer.
Right, yeah, to make someone tap out. A submission move here. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I remember their Mae Young Classic one, so that's where Tony beat Io, right? So now Io has officially beaten Tony, got that win back, got that W, and proved to Tony. I thought it was okay. I kind of agreed, like it didn't get to the next. Io is capable of having great matches with everyone, and I feel like this wasn't a bad match by any means. It just wasn't like my match of the night. It wasn't something that like blew me away.
Yeah, and I didn't feel it built enough to the kick out of the Storm Zero. Like it's a kick out of a finisher, so it should be a big moment, but just it didn't feel earned for me, really.
I think Io Shirai is great. I always mention she's my favorite, and she always, like, all her moves look so clean. She's like I didn't expect Tony to walk out of this as champion at all, and I knew Io they have bigger plans for some sort of match that we will get to more later on. But Io Shirai, the genius of the sky. You know she gets me high.
She does.
It's a haiku. I think. I don't know.
No.
Was it?
I
don't think that means that. I'm the genius. She's the genius of the sky. I'm the genius of the high.
I can't remember the syllable like rules.
It's a little poem about Io Shirai and me.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. We go to Finn Balor backstage. He says
575. Sorry, everyone in the Twitch room's going off.
What's 575?
Haiku, the syllables.
So I don't even want to try.
Come back with a sonnet next week.
What's a sonnet?
Well, look it up. Come back to me next week with a sonnet.
That's got to be some sort of like poem though. What's a sonnet then?
Like, a sonnet's a bit longer. Sonnets are what Shakespeare wrote.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could write a sonnet about you.
Yeah.
Shirai.
Do it.
No.
Present it to us.
Present it
behind
to
the BDE. Okay.
Yeah, that's a hook. So we go to...
You'd be surprised.
Ways like frothing at the mouth. Finn Balor is backstage. He says that Finn Balor, Adam Cole, two of the biggest names in wrestling right now in NXT, and there's no refs to hold you back. There's no friends to hold you back. You're a one-man act, and there's no one to back you up. So there's no blindsides, no cheap shots, just face to face, and I will beat you. and I'll beat you and keep my NXT championship. So, making it known that he's not letting Adam Cole walk away champ tonight.
Finn looks so kind of intense these days. He looks quite rough as well, and it's a good thing, but he does look very intimidating here, and his promos are just so much better than they used to be.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I love
this whole NXT run. It's been, what, a year now?
Yeah.
It's been, no, over that, I guess. It's been great for him, I think.
Definitely. He comes across very good as a solid champion, I would say. We go to LA Knight. Yeah, backstage. He says, spoiler alert, next week, if anyone can step up to me, I'll make my debut. But he is attacked by Bronson Reed, because if you remember, he got involved in Bronson's match. So Bronson wants some revenge, and Bronson looks pissed here. He looks very aggressive, trying to beat the hell out of him. They're separated apart, and says, good luck on your debut, and kind of smiles. So I imagine that he is the one who is chosen to go up against LA Knight next week.
I guess, yeah.
So is it? Did they even announce it? LA Knight? They just said he's debuting.
It just said LA Knight in action next week, but I think they've said that before.
Okay.
So I have a feeling we're not going to see him wrestle for a while.
Well, he keeps saying it's on I choose when I want to wrestle.
Yeah. I think we're getting that kind of gimmick we've seen before with, didn't Eva Marie do it for a while, and I think Emma, did it for a while when they kind of come out and they go, not tonight. Fandango did it as well. I definitely see that's the gimmick. This guy, his kind of talent is the speaking, right? So I think we're going to get a load more promos from him where he comes out and it's like, not tonight.
I don't want to wrestle.
I'm good tonight.
I don't feel like it. Yeah, dummy. So we go to a next match, which is Jake Atlas in the ring. Now, I could be wrong. This is not the same theme song. You can't fool me, Jake Atlas.
He's changed.
It's a different theme.
Yeah, listen to Shot in the Dark.
Yeah, I did, but I think we haven't seen Jake in so long. He's
been on 205 for a while.
Right.
I feel we haven't had. And he's not had an entrance.
We've seen him wrestle, but he hasn't had an entrance. So I completely forgot, and I was like, "Oh, it's Jake!" And wait a second, what is that? That's not his. What?
Yeah.
So his theme is no more.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. You see Jim Johnston talking shit about WWE themes?
No, but rightfully so. They're terrible right now.
That's what he said. He said he said that they all sound like the same and they sound like shit.
The new ones absolutely do. You could play me like Bailey, Seth Rollins, and Johnny Gargano's theme. It's the same theme, I think.
Wow.
We've got like a ooh at the beginning, and then something.
The guitars, metal, yeah. I mean, one of the best concerts we've ever seen is Jim Johnston's Starcast.
Fantastic.
Hands down.
Just bring back CFOs. You've got a lot of money, pay them. You've forgiven worse people before for whatever falling out you've had. Just bring them back. They made bangers.
If Jungle Boy can come out to Baltimore, Tarzan Boy, anything should be possible in the world of wrestling. Just saying. Just there's got to be money involved, I guess. Yeah. Well, Jake Atlas doesn't have the theme song, and I already knew he was doomed. As soon as you come out to whatever theme that was, I was like, nah, fam, that ain't it. Well, Jake Atlas is going up against Pete Dunn. I like his music's alright. So it's more just guitar. It's more just isn't it? It's just guitar. But it fits, I guess he's mean. Pete Dunn versus Jake Atlas, and instantly I was kind of like, hey, this sounds pretty great. I like both of these guys. I think they're both really talented wrestlers. Unfortunately for Jake Atlas, Pete Dunn kind of makes light work of him here, but Jake gets some offense in. There's some technical back and forth. Pete Dunn definitely working every part of Atlas here. Jake goes for like a handstand, but then gets kicked, and then like these double knees to the arm and shoulder from Pete Dunn. Looked really painful, ouchie. And then Pete Dunn just slaps him like right in the face. Then he kicks him in the face. Atlas at one point goes for like a moonsault as he gets back, but it's caught into a like triangle there, but he gets out of it, and then German suplex from Jake Atlas, bouncing back from the ropes there on Dunn. Looked great. There's a tornado DDT, but it's blocked. He kind of like slips it up, goes for his cartwheel DDT, but that's blocked, and again attacked on the arm. There's then Dunn with this like shoulder, bending the arm back, manipulating the fingers and the joints there, and then turned it into like a cross arm breaker while attacking the fingers as well. Looked super awesome as a super finisher, and Jake can't tap out because his arm is like not, his body isn't allowing him to. So he has to yell at the ref like, I give up. So Pete Dunne beats Jake Atlas in a little short of a match, but did great for both guys.
I really liked this.
Yeah.
It was only 3 minutes, 4 minutes, something
had
like
to
that.
be,
It was so quick, but I thought they gave Jake just enough with it still feeling like a bit of a squash match, but it was entertaining. I think it did the job. Pete's obviously recently lost his title opportunity and stuff, so you need to kind of build him up a little bit, and just coming out here and dominating like this is the way to do it. I thought this was really entertaining. Yeah,
I've said before, I think Jake Atlas is fantastic. I just feel like there's a lot of just young and up and coming guys who are good talented and they don't really know where to go. But here he was used as we like to be called enhancement talent.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. I thought he got some good offense in and he looked great. I think there's definitely a future for Jake Atlas here at NXT for sure. He's going to keep getting better and better and work his way up. We'll see the story progress. But here's the story where Pete Dunne is out wrestling him, like being super technical here. And after the match, he has a microphone and says, "This is the time, WrestleMania season, TakeOver season, where everyone wants to step up their game. Well, step up to me and that's what will happen. I made my name in the UK, and I'm the best technical wrestler in the world, and I dare someone to prove me wrong." So there's a line there saying, I'm the best technical wrestler in the world. Someone in the world challenge me.
Do you think this is like a call out to people on other rosters? Whether that be, it could be NXT UK, or it could be Raw, it could be SmackDown. It feels like one of those kind of challenges that you're going to have a bit of a surprise, whether it be a return or someone from another roster showing up.
Yeah, well...
Or do you think it's just going to be
Kushida? Yeah, Kushida versus Pete Dunne sounds really good to me. Any of the Thatcher, Champa, Imperium guys, I know we've seen Walter Dunn, but like any of those, technical wrestling is something. What do you want? Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, I just wonder if you kind of want to make it special for the WrestleMania week. WrestleMania tends to make WrestleMania special by bringing back kind of older talent. Like, you got Edge this year, previous years you got Undertaker, Brock, Triple H, whatever. I think maybe you could have one guest, and someone like a Daniel Bryan, who obviously has got his match against Roman at Fastlane, which I highly doubt he wins. I can see him being game.
Right. That would be cool.
Maybe.
I would be really into that.
Yeah.
To be honest. Daniel Bryan versus Pete Dunne. Technical wrestling at a TakeOver. Maybe the Thursday. Just a exhibition match.
Or TV to bring more eyes to it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there's... You could just go Kushida. Kushida tends to be that guy who... this guy needs a good match. What's Kushida doing? Nothing, as always. So let's give him.
Zack Sabre Jr. He'll come in.
No. But I thought Pete... I'm normally harsh on Pete with his promos. I normally think they're pretty weak. Thought he sounded good here.
Me too.
I know when we were watching it, you were saying, he needs to sack off Oni and Danny. But I think it gives him confidence just having them behind him. He feels like a more confident speaker now. Just having a bit of backup, it kind of finishes the image. Like, it makes him look of a bigger act. And
I prefer British Strong Style, like the three of them. I thought they always looked better as a unit.
I've always found when Pete's on his own talking, it feels weak. And I thought he sounded a lot more confident here. So maybe it is just by having a few goons behind him, just like, yeah, you tell him, Pete.
Yeah.
Like they're doing. But this was one of his best promos, I thought.
And it was pretty to the point. And the line is, I'm the best technical wrestler. Yeah. So that as wrestling fans, our mind goes, okay, well, where's Daniel Bryan? Where's your Kushidas? Who else is super technical, right? You want him to fight. Cesaro or someone, right? There's so many different avenues you could go with this. So I've assumed...
Cesaro would be cool as well. Yeah.
Anyone that could have, it could be some sort of specialty match. I don't know if he's going to go into some sort of North American title picture. Out of all of the stuff tonight, we really don't get like any kind of clues as where the North American scene is going to be going, North American title scene. And I imagine it's some sort of ladder match because that's what they've been doing for this take. Think about before, like that's just what they do.
In general, I don't like someone going for the world title, failing, and immediately going for the title just below it.
Right.
I'd prefer some kind of
just
specialty match
That's
just an exhibition.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it sounds setting up. Like, I'm the best technical wrestler. It's just an open challenge kind of thing.
Kushida.
Okay.
Kushida versus Dunn.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I want to see that. We go to Imperium, a video from them backstage. They start talking about Thatcher and Champa. And they say, hey, Tim, take your rightful spot. Join us. Join us. Step in line and let's take over. Come on, Tim. We're here for you. We're doing this all for you. So they making it very known. Or is it a trap? It's a trap. I don't know. What's going on with these guys? Because they make it seem like they want Thatcher in to replace. They don't have Walter yet, so there's like there'd be 5 guys.
I feel they should have. They needed to tell the audience more of this relationship. We know it because we follow wrestling. We're diehards and we know about the stuff. WWE has all this WXW footage. Why are we not just having little... Like, we had the thing last week. Have Vic quickly say, oh, we're going to go back to Imperium. Last week, it seemed like they were trying to get Thatcher. These guys go way back. They used to be in a group together, and just show stills from WXW or Progress or whatever. And then you can go, oh, and these shows are on our network as well. I don't get why the lack of promoting their own stuff.
It's very weird.
It's really fucking weird.
It's very strange.
And instead, like, as I said, we know this relationship. Anyone else would be like, sorry, what? Why is Thatcher friends with this German dude?
Yeah.
Like, what's the relationship there?
It's very interesting.
If Thatcher was German, you'd go, all right, they're probably mates from Germany. But, but he's not. It's like, why? Sorry, why is he friends with these guys?
Okay, well, look, it's all I'm saying is with Imperium, it's WrestleMania season, so maybe Walter does come over and we have some sort of new unit with Walter and such.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea of it. I think this is exactly right. If we're going to get to a Thatcher versus Walter, awesome. But I just think you need to tell your audience, because they normally cater to the audience that don't follow wrestling. It is
very weird, considering it's like, hey, you can watch all of this if you choose. Like, we could put this out. We own it now, essentially. Like, we could show you this, but we just won't. Whereas the AEW, they just got Ethan Page. They like talk about his feuds with all these people already that happened, that WWE could air, essentially. It's kind of like...
I know I can completely understand where they feel uncomfortable saying these guys were in a group called Ring Kampf. I can completely understand that. But still, you can go, these guys were mates. Check them out. Just
check out what we already own. Like, go check out
WXW, Timothy Thatcher.
Even if it was just an image on the show or tweet it or something. Yeah. Like, the other day, I just tweeted the simple words, kickboxer or bloodsport. And my Twitter got wild and people went nuts. And all I did was, hey, go check out our Bloodsport review from like a year ago on the Patreon. That's all you got to do is just say, hey, WXW, we own it. Go check it out. You already, can you not access some of, what is it, best ofs?
So they've got some best ofs, and I think they've been releasing them gradually. Like, they've been doing that with Progress, they've been doing that with Evolve. I think they've been doing it with WXW as well. But they own it all. They've got all the shows. It's just a matter of them putting them on there.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get it down the line, but so far with this story, I don't think we've been given enough.
No, I don't. I am a little lost. Yeah, I know they used to wrestle together. You got to tell me something. That's it. We got to further this. But I guess we'll see next week, as we'll kind of get to. But we have an insert promo backstage before a commercial break from Leon Ruff, who says, "I'm sick of people thinking I lucked in. I busted my ass, I scratched and clawed for years, and it wasn't luck when I beat you, Swerve, 2 weeks ago, and I'll be holding you down next week for another rough landing." So he's going to challenge Swerve next week.
Do you think they had like a big promo class this week? Because I thought Ruff sounded better here great. As well. Yeah. Everyone tonight has sounded pretty good, I thought.
Who's doing promo stuff in NXT now?
What's happened?
Yeah, it's been working, because I think I actually liked a lot of people on the mic tonight that I usually don't like. You're right. Pete Dunne sounded great. Ruff sounded great. They're really quicker though. Maybe that's
I think that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know what the point is. It's always going to be, I want a match, or I'm going to beat you, I'm going to kick your ass. Just get to the point.
Yeah.
And they sound way better.
We go to our next match, the second title match of 3 tonight. The newest titles in NXT are being defended right now. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, the first ever NXT Women's Champions, Tag Team Champions, going up against, is it Moonshot? Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon. This starts off, there's Dakota early on flying in the ring with the scorpion kick, like the overhead kick there to Ember and Shotzi. Shotzi locks up with Kai and then drops her and puts her in the Texas Cloverleaf, which looks great. A fantastic move.
This is my submission.
This would be
your move? I always do the Texas Cloverleaf to everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fights?
You're not wearing your mask?
Texas Cloverleaf. It's good because you don't have to be near their
Exactly.
Their
that's
head.
why I do it.
Right.
Thinking ahead.
Yeah. Would you have like some sort of side Russian leg sweep into
it? Oh, you're speaking my language, bro.
Yeah. We got to get a ring in our new place. Yeah. So we come back from commercial. We watched on Sportsnet here now because we're good old Canadians, and I realized that Sportsnet does not pick up picture-in-picture.
Yeah, all those rear chin locks were missing.
If it was AEW though,
then
I'd be pissed.
Canadian Destroyers. Ladder.
Because that's what they do during picture-in-picture. So they come back from break, and it's Shotzi who tags into Ember with the hot tag, who comes in. She does like almost like the John Cena proto bomb, and then followed up by a senton here, and then kicks to the head. There's then a Dominator lift into a knee lift from Ember onto Dakota, and then the jumping codebreaker to Gonzalez. Shotzi does a suicide dive. There's then Dakota and Raquel who do their like go-to kick assist move there for a near fall. It's broken. There's then some sort of crazy move from Raquel. It's like, I don't know what to call it. El Generico, Sammy used to do this in the Indies. It's like the orange crush thing where you flip the guy in the air to drop him. Raquel does it here where she flips.
Oh, it looked great.
She flips her so many times in the air and then slams her down for like a powerbomb spinebuster kind of thing. Looked insane, but it was broken up there. Shotzi breaks it up. Shotzi then does a crossbody to both of them. There's then this crazy move from Shotzi with like a rope springboard Rana on Raquel, and then like the switchblade kick to Dakota, and like a backdrop driver for a near fall. Raquel now blocks the Eclipse, and they kind of no-played this setup here where the Eclipse is Ember jumping off the top with the stunner, and Raquel stops it, and then like should have just thrown her, but instead they like had her in the air, drops her, but then back in the air.
I kind of liked the struggle. It seemed more realistic and less
weird.
choreographed to me because she kept on trying to go for the power bomb, and Ember kept on trying to counter it into because Ember's pretty strong as well. Raquel's obviously bigger. I actually quite bought this struggle here.
It looked like they were doing it so that it set up for the next move, but then it was taking too long. Like they bounced around.
There was a bit of that. Yeah.
But it eventually does send Raquel out of there with Ember, and it's Shotzi who drops Kai into this like another reference to Zack Sabre Jr. here.
Zack Sabre Jr.
This is the Zack Sabre Jr. pin here. We've seen Kushida use it as well. The bridge.
Yeah, what's it called? Is it the European Clutch?
Yeah, I think so. And Shotzi pins Kai, and Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Moonshot, new champions already.
Weird. First of all, I really enjoyed the match. Shotzi's very hit and miss for me. I think she's a fantastic personality. I get it completely. But at times I feel she's a bit sloppy, gets a bit maybe excited. I thought she looked great here. I actually thought her chemistry with Ember as two singles competitors who've kind of been just thrown together in this tag team. Realistically, it'd probably be Tegan Nox in this position if she wasn't injured. I thought they worked together really well and showed some good chemistry and some good tag moves. I wish they didn't just... I was perfectly fine with Dakota and Raquel being given the titles because they did win that tournament.
Right.
But I didn't like them dropping it right away.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's kind of on paper, so you can say they were the first champions, but also we've got bigger things in mind for Raquel. I kind of feel it already undermines the championship. When it kind of feels you've got on Raw, Bobby Lashley drops the US title to immediately win the world title. This feels like, oh, well, let's give him the title, but actually we want Raquel to be world champion, which is better than being a tag champion. Better than this championship we've literally just introduced an hour ago. I found that a bit shitty. And I feel really sorry for Dakota because she's kind of, gonna have a breakup with Raquel and get killed by
Well,
Raquel.
that's it.
It kind of leaves her nowhere, and I think she's someone who's been consistently great and undervalued in that division.
Yeah, I figured you'd get Raquel beating her up after losing them here. Like, how could you get pinned? And it didn't happen. That's what I thought specifically. That would have made that make sense for some reason. I don't know, but it didn't happen. So I'm still like, okay, I'm happy for Ember and Shotzi. Like, cool, they're a tag team. There's so many women on this roster. This titles would add something to this show, definitely. I'm just like, okay, well, they just made the titles. You couldn't do it this, like, next week. You couldn't, like, there's so many different things.
Or just have this match for the championship and do the match exactly the same way. But I think to be given the titles and then lose them, it's shitty, I think.
It was weird. But Shotzi and Ember champions. After the break, there's a celebration, and Shotzi and Ember, everyone's celebrating. Even Taya Valkyrie there. I think that's the first time we've seen her on TV. She's celebrating. Everyone's celebrating, except Indy Hartwell and Candice. They're sour. They're salty. They leave. They walk around, and they see Johnny backstage somewhere with Austin Theory. And Theory's mad at the way and says, "Hey, did you pay off that therapist?" And Johnny snickers and says, "Yeah, therapy ain't free, bud. Come on, of course I did."
It's true.
What are you talking about? That's why we podcast. Therapy's not free, so we just air it out to each other.
Yeah, exactly. We can't go to bars and talk to our bartender therapists anymore. So yeah.
It's weird. So Theory's mad, and Johnny then like brainwashes him again and is like, "Hey, Loomis says your abs suck," or something like that. And Theory's so mad he rips his shirt, walks off, and he's gonna challenge Loomis to a match next week, I think.
The saving grace here was it was short, but I hate these four. I feel so bad saying it because I love Gargano and Candice, but I hate these four.
Yeah, I like these four, but then I don't like this.
Hate the direction. At least this was quick. It was short.
Yeah.
I don't really have much more to say, to be honest. They're just irritating.
Yeah.
Not funny.
Yeah, I just don't like the Loomis and Theory stuff.
I don't like the Loomis and Theory stuff, no.
Yeah. We go to Kaden Carter. She wasn't backstage celebrating because she's in a match right now with Xia Li. That's right. Xia comes down. Is it Mei Ying who's in the chair? Boa standing there. Epic entrance from Xia Li here. Even in her entrance, she does like some of the kicks and poses, but then does the splits.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
R-Truth style.
Is it R-Truth style?
Yeah, he does the just drop down.
Yeah. It's not quite the Melina or the Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No.
But it looked very impressive.
It's the one with the knee slightly bent.
It looks sick, though. It looks real cool.
That's how you win matches.
Do the splits before.
Do splits, win matches. That old saying.
Doing the splits?
Yeah. Someone write a haiku about it.
So, it's Xia who right away goes after Kaden, but is welcomed with a drop kick, and Kaden's mad at her, so she beats her up. There's like a Judas effect from Xia Li here early on. There's the like quesadora from Kaden Carter, who then low super kicks Xia in the face. Then Xia like throws her upside down into the corner, and she's getting super aggressive. And like Casey in crutches is walking around now. So Kaden Carter's getting beat up by Xia as Casey Catanzaro is like hopping around. And Zaya's like, "This is for you," as she's beating up Kaden Carter here. And
Xia Li.
Xia Li is. And then it's Casey Catanzaro who uses one of her crutches and attacks Xia Li, interfering in the match, getting disqualified. Xia Li wins the match, but Casey then just whipping Xia Li with one of her crutches.
She's yelling, "You're taking this too far," as she swings a metal crutch to this woman's head.
Yeah.
Sorry, Casey, I think you're taking this too far.
Yeah, you're mean.
Zaya's just been violent in wrestling matches. You're not even in this match, and you're swinging metal at people's heads.
I wouldn't even say Zaya's being that mean. No. She's beat up people after matches and stuff, but not like she's just.
They deserve it. That's
Casey's just jelly. Like she's mad and jealous of
watching this. Like I don't know how you can see this as Xia as the heel here.
Yeah, this baby faced her.
I think so.
It made me
she
go
looked
what?
Way more badass. You've had the partner interfering.
So Boa comes in here now for the save, and grabs the crutch and like breaks it up into pieces and throws it away and goes, try walking now. And then Caden attacks like Boa. It's Mei Ying who basically does the crushing hand sign, meaning Boa beat her up. And before Boa can do that, he's beat up by Caden and Casey, and then they walk off or they leave. So it's like it's a standoff. So we're getting a tag team match, Boa and Xia Li versus
maybe.
It was a little
I don't
weird.
think I like this.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the whole Xia Li thing. I feel this feud. I think because Caden and Casey, I like them both as wrestlers, but they're pretty low on the pole in NXT. They're towards the bottom. And I think Xia, after this whole transformation, beat, 2, maybe 3 jobbers, and then has gone right to this, and it's been somewhat competitive. I feel really she should have just steamrolled these two.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. I think,
and you can still have what's happened to you. If you want her to be a heel, be more heelish. Continue the beatdowns after, but after this, I think it just babyface Xia and makes Casey just seem so annoying.
I like how Mei Ying wanted Boa to beat her up, though.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. I wanted Mei Ying to. Her name's Mei Ying. I want Mei Ying to get involved.
Yeah,
I think a tag team. Oh, but actually, Casey's actually hurt, so I don't know. I thought this could have just ended this with Xia beating them both up. Move on to the next thing here, but move on to Zoe Stark. Move on to literally all of these people you have.
Yeah,
but instead they're going forward with more of it. So I hope it babyfaces Xia Li.
Yeah, I think if we were having crowds, I think she'd be over right now.
Definitely.
And I definitely would have seen them booing Casey and Caden here.
Right. Yeah. No one could ever boo Boa when he looks like that. When he looks like that. Would you? What kind of a person would you be if you booed that? If you booed?
It's a great job.
Just
do you want to get paid to just not even wrestle? Just come out looking cool in a suit?
I mean, I don't know. Mei Ying wanted him to do some evil things.
He didn't even get to do it.
But he thought about it. He thought about it. He thought about it. He thought about it. That Boa, the cheeky Boa.
Yeah.
I didn't like this too much either, but I'm not going to give up on the Xia. We can't give up on Xia like that.
No.
She deserves more. Yeah. More on that. We go to, a video of the, NXT Cruiserweight Champion, but the one that we don't have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it comes time to talk about this, I guess. We were doing so well.
Yeah.
So Jordan Devlin from NXT UK is sending in a insert video from like a airport. And I know we've talked about on the show, there's a lot of things in the speaking out from last year. Devlin was one of the ones named in this list. Very, I don't know. You can tell we do not like talking about this.
Yeah.
But this guy was the champion, the Cruiserweight champion. The pandemic happened. He's been over there. I'm not even quite sure if he's been wrestling. I didn't really.
He's been wrestling in NXT UK, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been defending the NXT Cruiserweight Championship over there as well, because we've got 2 Cruiserweight champions.
Yeah, so there is 2. That's the point. Like, he was on this show for a brief thing, and then
Then pandemic hit, and then they had the tournament to crown the interim, which Santos Escobar won.
And then they dropped interim
so
quietly, and Santos has been the champion. And now Devlin here is basically saying what some people aren't too cool about, but that he's coming to NXT. He says that it's this time of the year, summer's around the corner, the Irish weather, something about that. Basically saying he's the real champion and your time is up, Santos, while you're playing make-believe. That my travel ban got lifted, and then he turns his camera and shows he's in the airport and he's about to get on a plane. And I believe he says he's showing up next week.
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah.
Go to my Twitter, @DaveyPortman. There's a Crowd Justice link there. Can we move on?
Yeah. I know this makes it tough for us. We watch the show, and I don't necessarily like talking about these kinds of things. I'm not someone who, like Davey said, it's been tough, especially on this show. I know John and Way as well have to do like Monday Night Raw, and there's certain people in all these shows, and like Davey said, go check that link. And I know that there's other people on the other side of these things, and we just watch NXT and we talk about what's on the show.
Yes.
So me talking about it, I'm sorry if I rattled some people, but
look, everyone. We've talked about this before. We kind of talked about this at the beginning, and I know I was listening to Ask Away earlier, and the subject kind of came up there with they were talking about Kevin Spacey and R. Kelly and things, and obviously we're going to be talking about Benoit on a review we've got coming on, and everyone's got to draw their line. We've had this come up before with Velveteen Dream and stuff. But don't, everyone's entitled. If you want to enjoy the work and just take the art, that's fine. That's cool. It does put us in a hard position, and I do always feel like I don't quite know what to say when we come up to things like this.
I don't know what to quite to say. It's really hard for us to talk about. And this specific wrestler was someone I was very interested in. A year ago, I would tell you he was like one of my favorite guys to watch. And now I'm like I can't really be excited to say that he's coming.
There are so many good wrestlers out there. Just why bother? You know? Yeah. I think this company would be fine without a Jordan Devlin. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. Well, next week, I'm gonna say they're booking him versus Santos at Takeover. We're getting that match, and I'm sorry, the match sounds great, but
probably will be a good match. Yeah.
But good stuff.
Stuff.
Great sports entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Just so much fun.
Did you think you'd be talking about all this when you started podcasting about a little internet wrestling show?
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
featuring the likes of The Ascension, Conor O'Brien.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just no. I don't.
Yeah,
no. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying. I feel like we're trying to walk around on eggshells for no fucking reason. We've said what we said, and you know how we feel about these kinds of things. But if something shows up, it's not on. I'm not the one who's booking this person on the show. I'm the one who watches the show every week and talks about it. So, we go to a video for Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark mentions that she's here. She's been through the world. She, like Leon Ruff, she's scratched and clawed to get to this position, and now she's here. And then it shows clips of her match with Io Shirai, where Io's like, hey, you did a good job. You're welcome here and such. So more on Zoe Stark in the near future to come here in NXT. We go to Santos, who's dressed like the Riddler from Batman Forever in the nice suit. This was definitely Riddler inspired.
Is he the best dressed in WWE?
He's definitely needs to be in the conversation.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he needs to be in that conversation of best dressed wrestler.
He's a star to me.
He looks so good here. He's pissed because he saw Devlin's video and he's with Regal, and William Regal's like, yeah, like you're the interim champion, and it's something that's going to be addressed. And he says, I'm the champ. So we are getting this altercation between cruiserweight champions again. This storyline is cool, actually. And it puts a damper. I'm like, but the storyline is cool. It's such a good storyline. 2 cruiserweight champions and stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think Santos has been a great champion. I hope to see him continue. I assume this is going to be a unification match, but I've enjoyed Santos's run. It's probably the most interested I've been in the Cruiserweight Championship since its inception.
Yeah, I think he's been great, to be honest. So people are gonna be like, well, how can you say you're excited for that match? But like, the match is probably gonna be really good. Hope Santos wins.
Yes.
There, let's go with that. We go to Grizzled Young Veterans. They come down to the ring as Santos boys are in the ring. Legado del Fantasma. It's Zach Gibson on the microphone who says, how does it feel, you guys? You're just Santos puppets. Is this how you thought your life would lead you to? Taking bullets for your boss and then giving him massages when he asks for it? While we've been making an impact. And they're going to start this match. I love James Drake.
He's great.
He says one line and thinks he's like, yeah.
It's great.
You know have you ever had a dream? The kid who like thinks he eventually nails it?
Yeah.
That's James Drake.
Oh, it is, yeah.
who finally nails the promo.
He mouths along with Gibson's lines, and I find it so funny. It works. It completely works for me.
Zach Gibson's like going off with one-liners, making fun of these guys, and then this guy goes, and we're gonna beat you. Yeah, I nailed it. I fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
And he's so happy. He's like a lapdog, like the dog and up. So this match starts off Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma, and it's quick back and forth, action packed. There's Legado who do this like springboard style splash here. I'd say right away this match is interrupted pretty much by an entrance of this space people. That's right, the astronauts are back. No, it's not Daft Punk, it's Fandango and Tyler Breeze, or so we think. It distracts Legado del Fantasma. They're like, whoa, Fandango and Tyler Breeze, oh no, they're back for the revenge of us beating them up the other week. But then it's as if the Grizzled Young Vets get the upper hand. But then the astronauts take off the helmets and reveal that it's not Breezango, but it's MSK, Lee and Carter. They use the helmets to beat up the Grizzled Young Vets, who broke Wes's hand, the reason they didn't get their title shot yet. They start using the helmets as weapons. They're decking them.
They pretty much both low blow them with it. They just throw them at
These are like motorcycle
dicks, right?
white helmets to pretend they're space astronaut suits. But then they put Gibson's hand on the steel steps and smash it with the helmet.
Loved it.
Yeah. Wow, this looked great. As they're all like kind of like all being like kind of cocky here, as Legado del Fantasma just kind of watch on and go, like, good thing it wasn't Breezango. As Breezango show up, Tyler Breeze with the best fit.
It's getting warmer. I downgraded to my thinner jacket today.
Yeah, me too.
Summer's round the corner, and I think I've just found my new look.
So your look's gonna be
Tyler Breeze, yeah.
Tight, like short shorts, no socks, loafers, and this like
Sweater.
kind of crew neck sweater kind of thing.
Fuck yeah.
And like you need like a sea captain's hat or something. Look like vibe up.
Sea captain's hat?
Like a sailor hat. It look good with like he looked like that.
No, I've got beautiful hair, Braden.
Oh,
I'm not
true.
wearing a hat.
No, but like on top, like over it. Like that's what he looked like he was missing in this. Breeze. I mean, Fandango's in like
just jeans.
He looked good too.
He looked good.
They look good.
I like these guys. I've actually grown to really, really like these guys over their run in NXT.
Yeah, they show up. I liked the save here. Like you weren't sure who was who at one point. And then after this, MSK get in the ring and celebrate with them. And it's Carter who's kind of like doing the Fandango and trying to get him to do it. But he's like, no, I don't do that anymore. And then they celebrate with the helmets.
Breezango hit may be the most beautiful Falcon Arrow I've ever seen.
Yeah, Fandango,
it looked so good. I really like this. I like the swerve of it not being Breezango. It kind of furthering two feuds now with Breezango and Legado del Fantasma and GYV and MSK. What I loved the most was the attack from MSK, because they've kind of been positioned as the guys who just like to have fun. And I love the New Day, but a criticism of them is they never tap into that serious mode when they need to. And seeing baby faces who just want to have fun, but taking revenge on a smashed hand by smashing a man's hand with a helmet, it's like, yeah, we want to have fun, but we'll fuck you up if you mess with us. I think it's a great edge, adds so much to these characters. I think they've just week after week since these guys debut, they've just knocked it out of the park. I think they're booking them perfectly.
They looked cool.
They look cool.
They always remind you, like, obviously we've mentioned that their names, Carter and Lee, I think are plays to Rush Hour. And like they remind me of like the buddy cop or the buddy stoner movie kind of thing. Like obviously they were the Rascals. They were going for that 70s show vibe or Dude, Where's My Car vibe kind of thing. And they're nailing it, I think, because the wrestling we've seen is really good, and the character work is slowly like becoming into its own here. And from weeks ago when I said like, oh, their names are so stupid, I still think their original names were cooler, but now we said we wouldn't care.
You get used to it so quickly. We've had this in wrestling so many times with weird names. Shout out Off the Rope as well. We complimented.
Oh, yeah.
We complimented Breeze's fit tonight, but
Right.
a couple of weeks ago we complimented Nash Carter's old school
John Cena
t-shirt, and Off the Rope, who designed the t-shirt, gave us a little follow on the Twitter.
Yeah.
On the Instagram, because they obviously heard us talk about them. So
yeah.
Shout out. Their page is pretty cool. They make some cool like wrestling, like retro style t-shirts. So
yeah, I kind of want their stuff.
Yeah.
It looked really cool.
They haven't paid us for that.
They just look lit.
Hit us up.
And I think Nash Carter and them like rocking shirts that aren't WWE is cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're the cool kids now here in NXT. Look at them growing up, these rascals, these little rascals. I can't wait for that match. Hopefully Wesley's okay for TakeOver.
I assume so. I think if they're doing this angle, I assume he's okay.
He's in the cast.
We've seen wrestlers wrestle with broken hands before, so
it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's insane. I tweak one thing in my body, I'm out for the day. And this guy's got a broken hand, and they're thinking about him wrestling.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's all right. I think that's there needs to be them getting the titles at TakeOver is what I'm getting to, but. The Grizzled Young Vets feud needs to happen too with the hand smashing.
This could be the ladder match, the 4 teams.
Right? Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, true. That's a lot of people, but hey, guys.
Oh wait, who's the champ? Oh
Oni.
no, it's still
Yeah, it's
Oni
Oni.
and Danny are the champions, aren't they?
Yeah, they're forgettable.
Forgot about them.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
what happens? We go to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez backstage with Mackenzie, and she's trying to get a scoop here, but they're upset. They say it doesn't matter if it was 5 seconds or 5 days. We were the first NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. We made history. And in walks Io Shirai. Holy shit. She speaks to her in Japanese, but then translates and says, I want you next. So Raquel's taken a little aback and says, be careful what you wish for. So Raquel and Io, LFG.
Yeah, I actually really like this with Io challenging her. Io has pretty much beaten everyone in the division who's of some name. Apart from Raquel, they haven't really had that match yet. And it kind of looks, this fighting champion who's looking around the division and seeing that Raquel is killing it. So, yeah, I want to go... You're the best. You're the best one we've got, and I want to beat you. Yeah,
I think that makes Io continue to look badass.
Absolutely.
Because we're all, for the past months, like, oh, Raquel's got to, put this challenge out. And Io's like, nah,
and
I want
Io's
you.
tiny as well. And just watching her just square up with Raquel with all that confidence, I think it makes her look so cool. Think they've done a great job with Raquel. Wasn't a fan of this tag team booking tonight, but I think they've done... a really good job building her up and making her seem like a credible threat. I'm looking forward to the match.
Yeah, definitely. I know that there was the whole exploding barbed wire thing, and I know that there was that spot with the baseball bat, but Io Shirai has done it before where she's taken that spot, and someone posted it on the Squared Circle in Reddit this week, and it's Kagetsu just hitting. Io took the bump of time of an exploding barbed wire bat, which is just crazy. I love Io. There was also a mention, more Japanese women's throwbacks, but there was a mention, I think by Beth Phoenix, she referred Raquel and Dakota, like she said they remind her of the Jumping Bomb Angels. So shout out to Jumping Bomb Angels. They were a lit women's tag team back in the day as well. We go to, so I'm excited. We're getting Raquel and Io.
Yeah. So
we wanted it. It's happening. Let's just go with it. So that'll be, I would say put that on the Thursday night.
Okay.
That's that's one of the big ones. This was like more of a standoff with like 1 or 2 lines to each other, and I'm instantly like hyped for this match. So I think they will deliver. Definitely.
Nice.
We go to Thatcher backstage with Mackenzie as well, and Champa basically interrupts him right away, and it's old man Champa here, looking real old man Champa. And Champa says that he set up a match for them next week, Thatcher and Champa versus Imperium. So Thatcher's kind of confused. He's like, I don't want to do this. So
yeah, it's Champa. He's kind of putting that trust in his partner. He's like, look, I know these guys are trying to like lure you, but I trust you. I got your back. I know you got my back. It's kind of sort of guilt tripping Thatcher in a way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By being overly nice, being like, yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about these guys. I know you're with me.
Yeah. It's weird. It could go either way, but...
Yeah, you can go to that lads' weekend, honey.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's kind of that. It's giving me the... You can go out with the boys tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
sure.
trust you.
Yeah.
Oh, who's going to be there? No, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Wait, Fabian Eichner's going to be there? No, you're not allowed. You're definitely not. I wouldn't let anyone near him. He's too handsome. That Fabian Eichner. I'm excited for that match, actually. I hope it's Fuck. Still can't say that guy's name.
3 years on.
Yeah. Marcel Bartel.
Yeah.
And Fabian Eichner.
It'll be that.
Those two, yeah. Alexander Wolf's just there.
And I would think maybe we get Volta debut next week.
Fire Frank in the chat. Yeah, Fabian Eichner, future NXT Italy champion.
Yeah.
We get some match announcements for next week. Theory versus Loomis, I think is what they said. As soon as they mentioned Loomis, I just toned out for a second.
I think they said Theory versus Loomis.
All right, cool. We're also getting Leon Ruff versus Swerve.
That should be good.
Scott. Yeah, I can't wait for that. And LA Knight debuts, ? So
Yeah, it sounds a big week. I am predicting maybe we see Volta in that Imperium Thatcher Champa angle next week.
Whoa, okay.
If Devlin's flying over,
so
maybe
Walter.
there's a seat next to him.
Yeah. That's true. There's got to be some other people like coming over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if Walter versus Finn is something I still want to see, but it doesn't make sense right now. So yeah, you could just bring Walter over for something else.
Yeah.
Whoa, Champa versus Walter? Take my money. Book it. Put it on a Wednesday night. Takeover. Champa Walter.
The UK title?
Yeah.
I mean,
sure.
You're going to want to load those nights up with title matches. Why not have a UK title defense?
Yeah. I just want to see that match. So Walter versus anyone.
Literally anyone against Walter.
Anyone on this roster versus Walter is a match. Thatcher versus Walter.
Yeah.
Fight Pit Walter versus Thatcher. Like anything there. Yeah, that's definitely. You know what? I want to see that. Hopefully that is something that we get to see next week. Let's go, Walter. We go to our main event, which would be a main event of any takeover, is what they kept telling us, and it's true, to be honest. Finn Balor versus Adam Cole, NXT Championship on the line. And it's back and forth here pretty quick. It's noted that Adam Cole in his promo earlier mentioned that he's... Did I skip over Adam Cole's promo? I feel like maybe I did. But
Yes.
I did. Oh, okay. I totally went over Adam Cole's promo earlier. Well, Adam Cole, in his promo, said that he will explain how we got here. He says that Kyle stepped out of line, so I put him in his place. And then Roddy played tough guy, so I beat him where he stood. Those guys were just chumps. I've been the leader the whole time. Undisputed Era is dead when Adam Cole says it is. You think you got me, Finn Balor? You think you got inside my head? I've been playing you like a fiddle. This whole time it's been about the NXT Championship. I was the best, longest reigning champ ever. And I've done it all. I've fought in all the shows, SmackDown, pay-per-views, everything. And I've beaten everyone. And you have not seen nothing yet. So, kind of letting everyone know that he's keeping the music. He's keeping the logos. He's got 3 new shirts out on the site. I don't like any of them.
No, I've not looked yet.
He's keeping the boom,
Yeah.
the theme song, because Undisputed Era is his, and he kicked them out.
It can be his Undisputed Era, yeah.
Yeah.
That term, Undisputed Era, doesn't necessarily mean a group of people, does
Right.
it? Could be your Undisputed Era, Braden.
It's Adam Cole's Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Era, Adam Cole.
Yes.
So does that mean we're all thinking, well, he's got a title match tonight. Maybe new people show up to join him. We'll see. Well, let's go to that match. Cole versus Finn. I mentioned there's back and forth that are super quick here. Drop downs, all that stuff. Finn Balor slows it down with some chin locks and then turns it into the money clip.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's favorite submission hold. Clearly shouting out his boy Okada there. There's a drop down standing stomp from Finn for a near fall. Adam Cole hits him with a super kick. They go counter for counter into the final cut from Finn Balor. On the outside, Cole goes for the steel steps and goes for that brainbuster that he hit Kyle with. But Finn counters it and suplexes him onto the outside, laying both guys out. When we come back from break, in the ring, Cole hits him with the suplex lift into the Ushigoroshi, what he used to call the last shot. But it's not enough to keep Finn down. Finn fires back. The John Woo drop kick goes for the coup de grace, but lands on his feet into a super kick. And now he's selling that jaw that Adam Cole is now targeting. But he gets put into a crossface from Adam Cole. Clearly, Adam Cole saw EO retain the title tonight and went, whoa, if you won a title match with the crossface, so can I. So he puts Finn in this great crossface spot where you thought Finn got out of it, but then he counters back into it, going for the ropes and stuff. Thought it was really great. Finn then comes back with like these huge strikes and a huge lariat for a near fall, but it's Adam Cole with the Shining Wizard again to the jaw. 2.9 count. Cole's getting pissed, so he sets up Finn out of the corner for the Panama Sunrise. Again, a 2.9 count. This looked fantastic. I love this move. I think he's one of the best guys to do it too. There's then Cole who goes on the outside here. From Finn just like dumps him, and Cole is hanging around on the outside. And this is when, are you ready for the return of Cool Kyle? Super Cool Kyle.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah. Kyle O'Reilly is in the like crowd area in a Metallica Ride the Lightning like shirt with a like jean jacket vest, black pants, and some chucks on. Adam Cole looks like he saw a ghost. Goes into the ring. Sorry, as he's like looking at him, it's Finn who jumps out of the ring with like a flying swan conhilo there. Hits him with the 1916 in the ring. Puts him in the ring. Hits the coup de grace and pins Adam Cole. Finn Balor retains the NXT Championship here. So, I mean, before we kind of go into what happens after this, Finn Balor retains. There's no question that with the two-night takeover, it looks like they could do multiple challenges and stuff. But I thought this was pretty good for a TV match. I thought this was my match of the night. Yeah.
Good match. Didn't quite reach that takeover level.
No.
I thought we might get this commercial free. Maybe we didn't. It was interrupted, which always unfortunately does take me out of the match a little bit. But solid, as you'd expect from these two. I think Finn's selling has been fantastic recently. The selling of the jaw as soon as that super kick was hit, and then going into that whole crossface segment, I thought was really good. I was expecting more nonsense at the end of the match, and I thought it was just the right level. Just have Carl out and save it to after. It was still a relatively clean finish. I was expecting a lot more like Gaga going on. Kyle, I didn't particularly like the look. It kind of felt to me when you're at high school and then you take your summer break and come back, and one kid's just like found a whole new attitude over the summer. It's like, I wear sleeveless jean jackets now. I don't know. I didn't think it looked particularly cool.
I think it looked fine. It reminded me of AJ Styles in TNA. He like came back and it was very similar.
Right.
I think someone in the chat said the Lone Wolf Kyle O'Reilly, because I think that's basically what it was. I thought it was fine. Like, Metallica shirt, whatever. He's Canadian. He's wearing the vest.
He did look Canadian.
He did look Canadian,
to be fair.
I thought he was fine. He looks like how I dressed in high school and college, so maybe you're onto something. But
exactly.
Yeah. But like, what else did he wear before? Like Undisputed Era shirts. Like, I don't know.
Black t-shirt and jeans does wonders to everyone.
I prefer this. He's showing some sort of like move. He's showing that he's twisted here.
I can see that.
Yeah, they got to do something to. And I appreciate the Chucks, the Converse. So after the match, Kyle O'Reilly goes into the ring, and Adam Cole sees this, and Cole's like, I'm so sorry, Kyle, you don't have to do this, but suckers him in and goes to low blow him, but Kyle blocks the low blow, takes off the Undisputed Era armband off Cole's arm, throws it away, and then just boots him, starts beating the piss out of him, the strikes, all the palm strikes, all this stuff, and he's yelling at him, you did this. You tried to end my career, you piece of shit. Goes for the brainbuster on the stairs, but the refs come out and pull him off of him, separate him. And then he charges at Cole again and beats the hell out of him. But then he's thrown off, and then Cole is like taken backstage, escaped somewhere while Kyle couldn't get the rest of them. As Kyle chases him off as they're pulled apart. And while all this commotion's going off, Finn Balor gets to his feet in the middle of the ring, and he's standing, staring down the ramp. And then he just stands up straight, checks himself, and says out loud, "What took you so long?" As he turns his head over his shoulder, revealing Karrion Kross, who is just standing there as they do a face-to-face as NXT goes off the air. Wow.
The beatdown at first didn't quite hit with me, and actually some of the punches I thought looked like really far off.
From what, Kyle?
From Kyle, yeah. And then once they fell to the outside, it was when Kyle actually started slapping him and started like shouting stuff at him. That's when I was like, okay, here we go, and kind of picked me up a bit more. And then Kross has remembered that he was once NXT champion and should probably get that back. I thought the finish here was actually really good. This whole episode just set up everything for TakeOver already. Obviously, We've had no match announcements, but I really enjoyed this episode, actually. I thought they did a great job of just moving every story forwards.
Yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed this episode as well. Right off the bat, you told us that you had some announcements, and they were cool. We have 2 takeovers. Of course, one's going to be on USA, so there'll probably still be some commercials in some form of capacity. But 2 nights, so they could load 2 nights full of so many things. Coming out of this, there's 4 guys, which means you could do Finn versus Kross on night 1, and also on night 1, Cole versus Kyle, and the winners face the second night for the title.
That's kind of what I think we're going to get.
Yeah.
I see us getting that, and probably women's tag night 1.
Right.
And then maybe you can have men's tag women's championship night 2 and the kind of final of this. I definitely see some sort of 2-night tournament thing with the men's title.
Yeah, some sort of thing, because there's too many stories. Like you could just do Kyle and Adam, but
Finn is so tied up with Kyle and Cole right now.
Yeah.
That you've kind of got to pay that off. And the fact we've got 2 nights, it just lends itself perfectly to it. And Kross is the loose end, who's been a bit distracted since his return, but just came off that big win against Escobar. Makes sense for him to want the title. It would surprise me if they don't go that way. I think that's what it looks like.
Because you could just do Cole versus Kyle night 2 as well, like just a big grudge match.
Yep.
That's what they usually do in normal things. But to announce 2 nights, technically 2 nights, it's just weird that they didn't. It's because Mania is not one night anymore, so they can't do it on the Saturday, and they move SmackDown to Friday. Thus, let's just add a Thursday show right after the Wednesday. So let's 2-night takeover. It's like, okay, well, this is a lot of stuff for us to watch. So much. I'd much rather have just gone up against SmackDown, so I didn't have to watch that anyways. So it's just like Reginald versus Finn. I don't know.
I'm
Who
not
would
watching
you watch?
the Hall of Fame that week. I'm putting it.
Yeah.
I've
It's just
got Impact to watch, haven't I?
yeah. No announcements of moving to Tuesdays thus far.
No.
So until they tell us that's happening, that's when we know it's happening. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode of NXT. It moved everything forward. It had history. It had the titles being crowned and new champions, and then we had title matches. This was a pretty fun episode of NXT. I thought Finn and Cole was my favorite part of the show. Like the actual match itself was great. I really liked Kyle coming back. I thought Kyle looked. I know Kyle's like usually has the Mohawk style hair thing. I thought he looked good here, even though you didn't like. You're from someone who like when you were like 13, you looked up to Triple H in the vest. Isn't it very similar?
When I was 13 in 2002,
that was the
I'm
style.
now 31 and it's 2021. Things move on.
So you're saying you wish Kyle came out dressed as Tyler Breeze?
Also, Kyle isn't like Triple H is 3 times the size of Kyle here.
So wait, would you have just him in a black?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not UE gear. I don't know. It looked a bit silly to me.
I
don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me.
Yeah.
Week 1. I do completely get what you were saying. He needed to have a different look, shed that Undisputed Era skin.
Yeah.
I completely appreciate that.
I'm pretty sure this is how he dresses.
Probably.
Probably. He dresses
He should have
cool.
dressed as the psychiatrist again.
Me and... oh, God.
Being front row and Cole's like, what? Wait, that's Kyle.
Kyle, just the other week, me and you went for... I don't know if I've mentioned it on this show. Kyle O'Reilly tweeted out, like, the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack is underrated. And just the other week, me and you were out for a walk, and our neighbor had put out a box of CDs. And I was like, oh, shit, the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack? Snipe? And it's just been chilling. I don't even have a CD player. Maybe my computer plays them.
Yeah, we'll play.
But me and Kyle shared the bond of the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack.
You can play that while doing your Trish Stratus DVD I got you.
The Trish Stratus Yoga DVD that you also found in a bin.
Yeah.
So. You find a lot of things on the street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one man's trash.
You don't need to go shopping. Just walk around our neighborhood. You'll find presents for everyone.
We have a lot of art in our house from like streets and coffee shops that people just dump.
Our haunted chair's about to break. I can hear it like cracking.
Haunted chair is another thing we took from the streets.
But no, I thought every segment tonight moved something forward. There was something notable coming out of every segment. I thought it was a very solid show.
Yeah, I really like the show, and I'm looking forward to this 2-night takeover, which, I mean, we did a watch-along for AEW Revolution. You're going to be doing a watch-along for Fastlane. I think we're going to be doing one for... Are we going to do it for both nights? Watch-alongs for both of these nights?
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But maybe night 2 for sure, but maybe not the USA one, but we'll see. But yeah, going forward, this looks great. And it's WrestleMania season, but they're pushing towards TakeOver, and the last TakeOver delivered. If you want to, I know this is we like all wrestling here, and we talk about AEW on BD Elite, but realistically, the last TakeOver blew AEW Revolution like out of the water, and there's no bones about it. So I'm excited for. They called Stand Up and Deliver, Signed, Sealed, Delivered.
Yes.
It's because they do, and that's why they called it that. So I'm super excited as a wrestling fan.
I know we've gone a bit longer today. We've it's like an older show. We've gone on our tangents a lot.
Yeah.
But that's okay. One thing I did want to say is we're watching kind of What's Next right now on the Patreon, where we go back in time. But even just network era NXT, what I used to like about it was you don't see every character every single week. Mm-hmm. And now you've introduced those women's tags. You've got the biggest performance center class you've ever had. NXT's got a pretty big roster now. It's got like a Raw and SmackDown size roster now, it feels. And I think it would be beneficial for them to rest people some weeks. You don't need Finn on every single week. You don't need Gargano on every single week. You can have weeks that focus on your tag division a bit more. You can have weeks that focus on the North American scene a bit more. And I feel maybe if it's still up in the air with the move, I believe, but if they do move nights, they might have a bit more faith in themselves to not feel like they need to load it with their stars and try and go back to more their formula before. Not saying never have any stars on your show, but I think you've got enough talent there where you can rotate it a lot, which always used to keep NXT fresh. And I think that's been the criticism of over the last year of how stale it seems because you've got all these same characters.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of characters we didn't see. I mean, tonight was a stacked show with 3 title matches, but realistically, there's characters that we don't see a lot.
But the idea now that you essentially have a roster big enough that you're going to have 2 nights of TakeOver. And sure, we're talking about certain people that might do double duty, but in general, you're looking to fill 2 cards, and they've certainly got the talent for it now.
Yeah, I'd say I'm excited. I think they're doing a good job lately. I'm happy in the direction they're going. That's what we thought of NXT from March 10th, 2021. Let's see what you thought. Forum.postwrestling.com every Wednesday night on the Post Wrestling Forum. We'll read your comments or questions, and I'm going to start with Professor, who writes in, I hate everything about this Xia Li story. I didn't like it at the start. I like it less now. The base idea of Xia loses a lot, goes away, trains and comes back a killer and wins is solid, but the execution is sucked. She survived the torture dungeon to win a few jobber matches, but she really isn't all that different in the ring. Add in Bo, who just stands there, and Chair Lady, who just sits in a chair. It is way beyond time that the story advances to the next phase, but I am not looking forward to it. I fear it will be a little too much spooky nonsense for my liking.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. We've seen what's happened with The Fiend. Like, I can understand your concerns, and it didn't really work for me this week.
It didn't this week. This pulled the past few weeks, since Casey and Caden got their noses involved in this story, is when it pulled the curtain back of that. Yeah.
But I do think her style she's looked more aggressive with her kicks and stuff in the squash matches she's had.
But I will say, was it Professor? You don't come on this show with Xia Li slander and just talking mean about our queen.
We still need the t-shirts.
How does Adam Cole get 3 new ones?
I know.
He wears his old one on the show tonight, but Xia Li doesn't even get a new shirt. Yeah. Justice for Xia.
Justice for Xia. We go to Mystery. Hiya. Io Shirai rules. She finally beat Toni Storm and clean in the middle of the ring via submission. Thoughts and prayers goes towards Dakota and Raquel's title reign. It lasted approximately 57 minutes. Also, not a fan of the way likely getting the next tag title shot, especially with as green as Indy is, which is outstandingly green. Io just waltzing up to Raquel and throwing down the challenge is why I love Io as champion. MSK and Breezango hoodwinking MSK and GYD and Legado ruled. Speaking of Legado, I hope Escobar wins the eventual match between him and Devlin. WWE just needs to get rid of Devlin. Sort of surprised Balor retained, but I also hope to God he retains against Cross. And here I thought they were going to keep Cross out of the title picture for a while, considering how not over he was as a heel. Question of the week. Did you guys see the Instagram stories that Robert Stone shared this weekend? It showed Io, Xia, and Sari working out at his new gym he opened, along with playing with his kids. It was heartwarming.
Oh, that sounds great.
I did not.
No. Shout out Robert Stone.
The new Robert Stone brand, Io, Xia, and Sari. Maybe.
Oh, man. Damn. You think Io would wear the loafers like him? Those socks.
She'd pull it off.
Yeah, better than... No, I think he looks good in it. I changed my tune of it now. I think he looks good. I think him and Breeze...
It works for some people.
And you're in Florida.
But just wear ankle socks. I don't mind a little bit of heel showing. I just don't want you to have sweaty feet in leather. That's gross.
Same with people who wear socks and sandals.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I know I got in crazy Twitter heat from saying this like maybe a year or two ago. I'll reiterate it right now. Just don't wear...
No, that's completely wrong.
Don't wear open-toe, like, sandals and stuff in public. Unless you live, like, near the beach.
Yeah, flip-flops are fine.
Flip-flops are fine.
And stuff, but don't wear socks with them.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It's weird. Yeah, sorry. I know some Aussies like, no, I'm sorry.
Well, they're wrong.
Wear flip-flops. Don't
Dickie
wear...
Bird, we're talking to you.
Just, like, that's why Robert Stone and Tyler Breeze are wearing no socks with their loafers. They're not wearing sandals. Like, when Riddle comes in, he's wearing flip-flops. He takes them off. Just don't like feet. The opposite of Tarantino. Let's go to Charbel.
The Chosen One.
Finally has come back to the upNXT universe.
Welcome back.
He says he's so mad that Raquel and Dakota lost. Maybe Dakota next time should wear pants. What? Oh, because he loves pants in wrestling.
I think so.
I'm a little lost.
It's been a while.
Yeah, long time, first time. He continues. I have to say, I hope LA Knight can back it up in the ring because I see so much in him. My favorite has always been Edge, Christian, and Jericho, and there's something there with LA Knight, I'm sure. WWE management needs to press on the pedal for Xia Li. Why isn't she destroying Carter? It would be like if Brock would sell to Zack Ryder with a kendo stick. It doesn't make sense. And I'm finishing with Finn is lit, Cole is lit, Kyle is lit, Devlin is shit. Miss you both so much. Thanks for everything. You helped me so much to keep it together for 1 year during this shit era. Please never stop doing what you do. Hey, thank you, Charbel, the Chosen One. We miss you too, buddy. We thank you.
Can't wait to chat with him this weekend.
We're chatting about the Spider-Verse with Charbel this week.
Yeah.
Can't wait. That's such a great movie. I can't wait to smoke a bones before that.
We go to Fire Frank, who says, really frenetic pace tonight, which I liked. Starting right off with the big announcements. With so little time left till TakeOver, I can understand why they had Raquel and Dakota immediately lose those new titles, as it sets up the Raquel-Io match we've been hoping for. And happy for Shotzi. Shout out, good match too, better than the Vengeance Day match perhaps. Io finally gets that win back in a decent match, liked the finisher. Atlas and Dunn had a really good little match there as well. The MSK, GYV, Legado, Breezango stuff was a nice blending of feuds in one quick but effective segment. Hopefully MSK will be ready to get that title shot at TakeOver. Main event was good. Would have preferred Cole to win, but not surprised they're going to Balor versus Cross now. Hopefully Cross will finally stand up and deliver in this match. Shout out Emo Kyle and the ruthless beatdown. 8 Gilbert Sparklers out of 10.
Emo he's not Kyle. Cool Kyle, he's Emo Kyle. Because he's I don't know, Metallica shirt though, it's not super. If it was a Linkin Park shirt, maybe 9 Inch Nails, Placebo.
But that's what I said, he's come back after the summer holidays. He hasn't listened to these bands yet. He's just like, oh yeah, okay, that one.
I trust Kyle's music. Kyle's got Canadian rock. That's what I'm saying. They're working on his theme. His theme's got to be like banging. It's got to have crazy guitars.
Bare Naked Ladies.
BNL. No,
TakeOver main event. If I had $1 million,
I would.
He can't really air guitar to it, but he'll find a way.
First concert
He's Emo
ever.
Kyle.
First concert, Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah.
They were lit. Massey Hall. It was sick. It was sick.
You can tell I've lived here almost 5 years now.
You love Bare Naked Ladies? Yeah, as soon as you start calling a fucking sharpshooter a sharpshooter, then we can talk. But you always agonize me when you call it a scorpion death thing.
It depends who's delivering it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. What do you think about... I was going to start quizzing you on Canadiana stuff, proving that you're Canadian. What do you think of Shania Twain?
She's great.
She's on TikTok now.
Oh.
It's great.
We should finish the show, though.
Alex K. from Toronto writes in, this episode of NXT seemed to fly by and keep me entertained. A little confused why they gave the women's titles to Gonzalez and Kai, only to take it off them on their first defense. Guess the Gargano curse knows no gender. I was worried that 2 nights of TakeOver would result in filler matches and backstage segments, but they seem to put a lot into these feuds in motion. Glad we're finally going to see Devlin versus Escobar, as both have run out of credible challengers, and it's about time there was one champion. Hope this means that we will eventually get Kaylee Ray versus Io. Can't wait for next week. Love the Batman and Robin review, and I can't be the only one who's going to start insulting people by calling them out for their mediocre abdominal section. Yeah, that's what Loomis has called theory.
We go to Magan, who says there were a lot of moving pieces tonight. TakeOver getting split into 2 nights has me daydreaming of possible matchups to fill up both nights. Didn't see Kai and Gonzalez losing the newly created titles the same night they've awarded them. Not a slight on Ember and Shotzi, one iota, who I also adore. I also think there's a lot left in the tank for them as a tag team. The split needs to be worth saving. It was a very good performance from all involved. Shirai and Storm had a good match. Io challenging Raquel, and I'm sure she's going to have a ball elevating her. Nice CMSK return with the bait and switch. Escobar is the real Cruiserweight champion. Devlin can kick rocks. I love that saying. Pseudo-Canadian Tux Kyle O'Reilly was a mood. Cole Balor ruled once again, and Karrion Kross staring down the Prince had me on edge. What a show! WrestleMania week feels complete again.
Yeah, we got TakeOver WrestleMania week. Can't wait. Give me the green light. We go to Matthew from Down Under. Long-time listener, first-time feedback giver.
Oh! Long time, first time!
Long time, first time. Hey, Matthew from Down Under. He says, my biggest thought of tonight's is that it seems like they're significantly trying to separate NXT and WWE with these women's tag titles. I feel like they see more value in having it trade between NXT and NXT UK talent, as well as other localized NXT talents. I feel like NXT Evolve will be their heat velocity. With this, I feel like your champions can feel more special, not appearing every week on the main show. Not saying more titles is the answer, definitely not, but I feel like that if anyone can do it right, NXT can. So, yeah, I feel like everyone's in the same page. We're going to give the women's tag titles a shot. I think it makes sense.
I didn't think it was a great start, but I definitely think they've got such a stacked division.
Yeah.
And I trust you're going to have takeovers, like bangers of women's tag matches.
Yeah. So, yeah. And hey, thanks for the feedback and thanks for listening, guys. And I see one last bit here from Jordan Beatwell, who says, good review. When's upNXT Mania?
We'll let you know very soon, Jordan.
We'll let you know.
And all of you.
Well, if you're a patron, we will be doing on the Saturday of WrestleMania. If all patrons and you, we're going to do a Zoom hangout, a party. We did one for SummerSlam. We're doing a tailgate for anyone who's not going to Mania. Who's not in Florida. It's going to Mania. We're going to be doing a tailgate via Zoom.
We're hoping one last ride in the BDE MSG.
This is true.
Because we're moving, folks.
Come May 1st,
Yeah.
the BDE moves. So join Patreon and help us move.
One last virtual party outside, yeah. And speaking of people who help us move,
Yes.
we need to give out some thank yous. We've not done this for a while. Thank you to our patrons who keep us afloat and able to produce this show for free every single week. So I'd like to start by giving a shout out to David M.
Yes, David M. Thank you. And shout out Maddie B.
Maddie B.
Always in the Twitch streams.
Always in the Twitch streams. A big shout out to Corey Starkey. Thank you very much for your patronage.
Shout out to CH. Just CH.
Just CH.
Just CH.
Thank you very much. A big thank you and a shout out to Clark Ma.
Hey, thank you, Clark. Shout out just to Thomas.
Just Thomas.
Not the Tank Engine, not Rob Thomas, just Thomas.
A big thank you to Chris Hater.
Shout out to Faulty Rob.
A big shout out to not MJF, but MCF.
Oh.
Thank you.
Nice. And shout out to Sean Meekan.
Wah!
Yeah, thank
I've done
you.
one of them for a while.
Thank you guys. You guys are some patrons and you help move us along here. You guys help us do what we love to do, and that's podcast and do all these shows. Again, only $5 a month. North American tier gets you access to all the past shows we've done, all the best matches ever, PWG, Neverweight, Open Title Weight, all those stuff. And the show's coming up, like we mentioned, a Leprechaun review for St. Patrick's Day, all the stuff. Patreon.com/upnext. Go check us out and help us out. And, ProWrestlingTees.com/upnext. For those hoodies and t-shirts and stuff that we do, that helps support us as well. And we appreciate it.
Absolutely, we really do. Thank you so much, guys.
All the podcasts, all the stuff. And with, again, WrestleMania season coming around here, we can't wait to do stuff. If we can't do it in person, we'll do it virtually over Zoom and Twitch and all that stuff. So we appreciate you guys listening and hope you're well wherever you may be. And at upNXT Podcast, Twitter, Instagram for updates on all the stuff we do and everything. And I myself, Braden Harrington. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TheBrady.
And you can find me at Davey Portman.
Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And what took you so long?
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.